Morning, Botai. Past few days we've been speaking about the halachot, about separating between milk and meat on the same table, making sure not to eat them on the same table, making a kid we spoke about yesterday. There's a discussion among the poskim. We know the Gemara in Masechet Pesachim, as well as the Shulchan Aruch in Yoreh De'ah Siman Kuf Tet Zayin, tells us about the danger involved in eating fish and meat together. That's because the Gemara tells us that it could chas v'shalom bring about tzarat, leprosy. Again, we don't see it too much, but it could happen according to Chazal, and therefore we're very careful about that, about cooking milk and meat together. Question becomes among the poskim, if that's the case, does one have to separate, does one have to make a hekir, a kind of reminding object on the table between fish and meat? Sometimes it happens on Shabbat that you want to have fish and meat on the table at the same time. Can you serve it on the table at the same time? And if you do you need to have a hekir to separate between them? So Maran Zichron Bracha brings down such a machloket poskim, and he brings down three reasons le'akel why it's not necessary. He says, first of all, we see Chazal instituted a hekir, this differentiation between milk and meat on the same table, only because milk and meat is actual isur. It's a prohibition. Fish and meat is not prohibited per se. It's just a sakana, and therefore over there, since it's not asur min adin, it's only asur mechamat sakana, it doesn't require any kind of separation. That's one svara. Number two, he says, is that fish and meat, there's no way to eat dairy after meat. And therefore, Chazal were concerned, since the person has to wait for 6 hours after eating meat in order to eat dairy, over there the Chachamim said you have to make a hekir, you have to separate, can't have it on the same table. However, fish and meat, you can't eat them one after another immediately, as long as you wash your mouth out, wash your hands if you touched it, but it's mutar to eat right away, so the Chachamim weren't so machmir to make a hekir. And number three, Maran Zichron Bracha brings down the opinion of the poskim, although we may not follow it, there are many poskim, not many, but some poskim who say that this idea of eating fish and meat together no longer applies in our generation, because we see nobody gets tzarat from eating fish and meat nowadays. There's many goyim and many Jews who are not shomer Torah mitzvot, and they eat fish and meat and they don't get tzarat. So therefore, although we're still very careful because it's an inyan shel sakana, but at the end of the day, since many poskim say it doesn't apply anymore, for that reason, there's no reason, we don't want to dayenu to say that the actual eating is asur, but to separate between them on the table is not necessary, and you don't even have to put a hekir. Have a wonderful day.